Good morning, and welcome to another edition of Sober Sunrise. It is Friday, August 22nd. This is take number 2 because the first one I started sneezing like a maniac and I just couldn't put that out there on YouTube. So hopefully I got it all out of my system, but it will be the allergies that determine that. So bear with me. But yes, it's Friday. It's August 22nd. It's 6:57 a.m. And for me personally, it is Sober Sunrise number 1247. So that's cool. 3 years, 4 months, and almost 5 months. On Sunday, it'll be 5 months. 3 years and 5 months. So, hope you're doing well. Let's get to today's reading. It's called Seeking Emotional Stability. When we developed still more, we discovered the best possible source of emotional stability to be God Himself. Now, I want to pause right there because I don't want you to click off if you're not a God person. If you don't like religion and if it just doesn't work for you, stay with me, okay? I am also not religious, so I'll show you how I turn that part of it into something that I can use, okay? Let me continue the reading though. We found that dependence upon His perfect justice, forgiveness, and love was healthy, and that it would work where nothing else would. If we really depended upon God, we couldn't very well play God to our fellows, nor would we feel the urge wholly to rely on human protection and care. From the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 116. I'm very sorry about the sniffing and all that. I'm just battling these allergies. This writer goes on to say, all my life I depended on people for my emotional needs and security, but today I cannot live that way anymore. By the grace of God, I have admitted my powerlessness over people, places, and things. I had been a real people addict. Wherever I went, there had to be someone who would pay some kind of attention to me. It was the kind of attitude that could only get worse because the more I depended on others and demanded attention, the less I received. Yeah, this is true for a lot of us, I'm sure. I have given up believing that any human power can relieve me of that empty feeling. Although I remain a fragile human being who needs to work AA's steps to keep this particular principle before my personality, it is only a loving God who can give me the inner peace and emotional stability. Now, like I said, I'm not a religious person, and what I do is I make the words work for me. So when I see the word God in a reading, in my head, I just replace it. So, example, when we developed still more, we discovered the best possible source of emotional stability to be our higher power, my higher power. So instead of we, I can change this to I. When I discovered or developed still more, I discovered the best possible source of emotional stability to be my higher power. It's that simple, okay? I found that dependence upon its perfect justice, forgiveness, and love was healthy, and that it would work where nothing else would. If I really depended upon my higher power, I couldn't very well play God in this, that's fine, to my fellows, nor would I feel the urge wholly to rely on human protection and care. Don't abandon ship on this program because it uses the word God occasionally, okay? When this program was started, yes, the founders were religious, but they also understood that not everyone was. They understood that it was important to have a spiritual aspect of it. However, the words that they used still rub people the wrong way sometimes. And that's okay. You're allowed to feel that way. But don't let it keep you away. Please. There's too many good things in this program to walk away from it because you don't like the word God or you don't like religion or whatever. I'm the same way. I don't like it. I don't like organized religion. So stick around, do your best to take what is valuable to you and leave the rest, okay? Because the message behind this is very important. It is important to have a higher power, to understand that you aren't all powerful, that you aren't the center of the universe. That's one part of it, but the other part of it is to have this safety net for your soul and for your emotions, that no matter what happens, there is a higher power at work. And that higher power has perfect justice and has forgiveness and has love. And when people fail to offer that, your higher power always will. That's critical for this. So stick around, stick with it. Don't let the word God run you out of the rooms, okay? This writer goes on to say, all my life I depended on people for my emotional needs and security. But today I cannot live that way anymore. That's true. We can't just depend on people for our emotional needs and security. We have to look inward, and we're most content and most secure looking inward when we have that relationship with a higher power that we trust. By the grace of my higher power, I have admitted my powerless over people, places, and things. That's step one. And admitting that we're powerless over alcohol or drugs, whatever it happens to be for you. I had been a real people addict. I think I was kind of that way too. I consider myself like I don't know if I consider myself an extrovert, but back in my drinking days, I wanted to be around other people because if I got them to drink, then it was okay for me to drink. Wherever I went, there had to be someone who would pay some kind of attention to me. Yeah, I had that as well because I had a very fragile ego. And I needed to be puffed up. So I needed to be getting jokes or getting laughs at my jokes or whatever it happened to be. Because inside, I was very insecure. It was the kind of attitude that could only get worse because the more I depended on others and demanded attention, the less I received, for sure. Yeah, I got to be this kind of person that people were just like, all right, it's enough already, like I wasn't over the top, but when I drank, I compensated even more for my emotional insecurity, and I became more loud and more peppy, more whatever. Just wasn't that. It wasn't like an unpleasant person, but I'm sure it got to be to the point where people were like, ugh, enough already. I have given up believing that any human power can relieve me of that empty feeling. Yes, I agree with that. My higher power definitely relieves me of that empty feeling because I don't have fear about anything really anymore. At least not existential fear that's going to get past the right now of like, what do I need to survive? I need shelter and food and all these things. I'm fearful of losing that at times, but the big existential stuff I'm not afraid of anymore. Although I remain a fragile human being who needs to work AA's steps to keep this particular principle before my personality, it is only a loving higher power who can give me inner peace and emotional stability. And that is what I have. Yesterday I had a really bad day. Really bad. Like, almost from as soon as I stopped recording the morning video, things started going downhill right away. And it just was a rough day. And today I feel fine. And I had a lot of really tough moments yesterday that I had to get through. And I had to lean on the tools that I have learned in my recovery to get through yesterday without wanting to crawl into a dark place and drink myself away and drink away those feelings that I was having. But I had the tools in place to not do that. And one of the most important tools that I have now is a really strong relationship with a higher power. And I know that no matter what happens in my day to day, things are going to be okay. And yesterday was one of those days where it seemed like everything was crashing down all at once. It was just a really tough day. And I got through it. And today's going to be a fantastic day. And it's going to be a great weekend. And did those problems all just go away? No. But I have the tools to deal with them in a better way than how I used to. So that's a win. Because I don't have 1,246 sober sunrises and I'm starting over. I have 1,247. You know, I'm not back at day one today because I had the tools to get through yesterday without needing to numb my emotions. I sat with them. I thought about them. I thought about how I got to the point where I was. What did I do to get to that point? And I made a plan to turn my thoughts around and to turn my actions around and to just to get better. 1% better every day. It's called Kaizen. It's a Japanese philosophy of becoming 1% better every day. And yesterday I was able to do that. So having this relationship with a higher power, looking for emotional stability through a higher power is really important for me, and I think it's really important for all of us. So don't let the word God trip you up. Make it a higher power, and you can have the same sort of day that I had yesterday and still get through it. But without that higher power, it gets really dark really fast. So work on that. Think about it, and it takes time. It took me almost 2 years to figure out what my higher power was, and now I know it, and now I have a great relationship. All right. I feel like I'm going to break into a sneezing fit at any moment, so I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for listening. If you like the video, just hit the thumbs up so we can get these videos to more people and grow the channel, reach more people. You can help me reach more people just by hitting the thumbs up. That's all you have to do. And tomorrow I'll have different music because I'm not feeling this. I'm always looking for non-copyright music on Apple iTunes or whatever it's called. And today was Swing and a Miss. Not the vibe I'm going for, especially not at 7 o'clock in the morning. But hey, it is what it is. So hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and if you know someone who could benefit from hearing these videos and these messages, share them with them. You could be helping to save them. All right, and that's it for today. So whoever you are and wherever you are and whenever you're listening to this, I want you to know that you are enough and you are worth it and you can do this. And if I can do it, you can do it. So let's do it together. And I love you and I support you. And even if you feel like no one loves you and no one supports you, I do. All right, I have to go. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.